The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV. Enjoy exclusive content for free. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com.
Hi, I'm Danny, and this is my daddy.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome. So what are we going to do today, Danny?
Make cards for the seniors.
Make cards for the seniors. Okay, so what she's alluding to is on the Western Star recently, they had an article out about the Mountain View Estate Senior Citizens Complex, and that's up on Premier Drive. And they were looking for pen pals. They were looking for people to write to them. Of course, they have technology that allows them to be able to, video chat and call and so on with their family members. But some of them are a little bit lonely, and I think this would be a great idea and an opportunity for our very first show to actually do something like that, very nice for our community. So, without further ado, I have a wonderful idea. I think we can make a nice card with a little picture of maybe
A cat?
a cat. Yeah. What should a cat be doing?
Sitting on a branch.
Sitting on a branch of a tree. Okay. And daytime or nighttime? What should we do?
Nighttime with the big moon.
Nighttime with a big moon. Okay. So we have our supplies. I'll walk you through them in a moment. But I do want to give a little shout out because we found everything we need in this kit. This is the Art 101 Young Art Kit. And where did we find that too?
At the Walmart store.
Yeah, at Walmart. And it was only about $15. So, boys and girls, when mom or dad have to go shopping at some point, mention to them about maybe picking one of these up for you so you can do some of these crafts along with us.
And if you're a kid, it's 6 and up, so you could, if you're 6 and up, you could play.
Yeah, and if you're below 6, you just need a parent with you to help you. So when we open it up, we see that it's full of so many different art things. We've got markers, we've got leads, we've got crayons, and my favorite,
pastel crayon.
Yeah, oil pastels. Of course, there's erasers and sharpeners.
And paint.
Little water paint, little clips. And it comes with this little easel. So it's a little easel that you can set up if you wanted to use that and kind of work on that. But today we're going to actually pull out this little art pad, and I already selected the colors we're going to use.
So that's why there's some missing.
Yeah. So we're just going to close this up, and we're going to put that aside, right over here. And now we're going to select pages from this for you and I to work with. So I'll select the first page here. This will be your page. Here's one for you. And here's one for me. Now, for your supplies, what we're going to be using, what you're going to need, we have these little lids from little bottles. So these are lids from little bottles that we're going to use to draw the shape of a moon. So we have one each that we're going to use. We have this tape, and so this tape we're going to use for taping down our page, making a nice little white frame, but also towards making our moon, and we'll explain that in a moment. We have scissors, very sharp. Who should handle the scissors?
Your parents.
Yeah, a grown-up, mommy, daddy, nanny, papi, whoever's with you. We have 2 pencils, and we chose, what is that pencil called?
4B.
4B. We chose 4B pencils because when we practice this stuff, we realize that 4B pencils look best on crayon and pastel. So we have 4B pencils. We have
whiteout pens.
Whiteout pens that we'll use in our illustration as well. We have our crayons.
We only got one.
So we've got the one white one.
And one dark.
A darker blue and a couple of really dark blues. So these we got from the Crayola crayons, by the way. So we did use some Crayola crayons for this project if you're going to do the same project, because as great as that Art 101 kit is, they didn't have really dark blues. So I grabbed a couple of dark blues from our Crayola kit. And I have some pastels here that I'm going to use as well. We're both going to use this pastel because we didn't have a really, we didn't have a really light blue, that color. And then the rest we have here. So we have those, and then at the end, our little letter, we're going to use our pens to write letters to the seniors. Yes, we have wax paper that we're going to use. We're going to take a little piece of wax paper. I'll explain that in a moment. And we have our napkins or paper towels that we're going to use. So let's get started.
And you could use tissues if you want as well.
You sure can. Good point. Now let's get this wax paper out, and we're just going to cut a little piece of wax tape. We don't need a whole lot for this. It's just going to be used for our moons. So we're going to take the tape, and the reason I'm using wax paper, you'll see in a moment, we have to make these circles in this wax paper, and then we have to cut them out. And if we're going to use tape, and we want tape to be taped onto this paper, wax paper seems to be the easiest thing to get the tape off, or to get off of tape. One little more piece on this will be good.
And if you're using adult scissors, please have like an adult around you.
Yes.
If you're a kid like me.
Absolutely. What's your favorite part about our artwork that we're going to be doing?
To do the shades.
The shading. The shading is a lot of fun, and it's a bit tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our circle, and we're going to grab our pencil. So make your circle on your side, or maybe I'll cut this in half so you can have it on your side. So you can do yours and I will do mine. So make your circle. We're going to hold down real tight, and we're just going to draw around this cap that we're using. Anything you have in your home that's round is perfectly fine. And let's show the people our circle. That's a good job. Show them your circle. Yeah, so this is our circle. So now we're going to cut out the circle. And because we're using scissors, I'm going to do that part.
For me.
Yeah.
Since I'm only a kid.
And when we cut out our circles, we got to be very careful when we peel it off of the wax paper. This can be tricky. So there's that. And then this circle here. And, you know, because we're using crayons and pastels, and this moon is just going to be a moon glistening in the background, it doesn't have to be perfectly round. If you can't make a perfectly round circle, that's fine. We did some work earlier, and
we didn't do perfectly round.
Right. We almost made rectangles, and we were able to manipulate our crayon and our pastels in making a nice round circle for the moon, didn't we? So there's a little trick when you're doing this, to peel that little bit of tape off, like this, so that you can expose the second layer of tape, and then peel the whole wax off. Did you see how I did that?
No.
So that's my circle. I'm going to place my circle, and then I'm going to help you. So I'm going to place my circle right about here.
And it doesn't really matter if the pencil is showing on the tape, because after we're going to take it off.
Yes, yes we are. So if you peel the first little piece off and expose that little bit of wax, as soon as you start to buckle it, it comes off right easy, just like that. And there's our little circle of tape. Now this happens to be maybe the easiest way I know to make circles with tape. So where are we going to put it? Right around here? Okay. Now, we have our moons. placed on here, our tape. So this is going to represent the moon, and what we're going to do is tape the bottom. We're going to make this kind of a square and then frame it. So, okay, so we have our canvas ready to go. All right.
And the first color we're going to take is this color right here.
Which is called?
A teal.
A teal. So
Or turquoise.
Or turquoise. Wow, she knows a lot more about colors than I do. So what are we going to do?
We're going to create like a circle around the moon.
Okay, show me your circle. So I have to wait because it's the only color that we have of the light blue. You're doing a really good job here, Danielle. So you want to fill it in the best you can. You want to really put as much of that color on there as possible before we move on to the next colors. And what that'll do is it'll create a good solid canvas.
And you can follow along. You can just pause the video and then follow along.
Yeah, if you think we're going a little fast. Absolutely. Good job. Okay, I gotta follow that. All right.
My daddy did this a lot before me. This is my second time doing it.
Now, I will say this. By no means are Danielle and I professional artists. This is just something that me and Danny do. This is some of our crafts and things that we do around the house that we wanted to share with everybody, right?
Because we're stuck in the house a lot.
Yeah. So right now, it's a little bit of a scary time. So some of you boys and girls are home and you're not sure what to do. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you're a little bit anxious about what's going on in the world. That's okay. What we're planning on doing here is helping you fill that time and do something a little productive and something that's going to be a little bit fun to help you feel happy.
And if you don't have these stuff in your house, you just buy them at the store.
Yeah, so next time Mom or Dad have to go grocery shopping, maybe they can pick them up. So now we're going to go with a little bit of a darker color, and we're going to go outside that blue circle a little bit, not all the way, because we actually have some darker colors we're going to add. So we're just going to make another circle outside this one. It's a good job, Danny. And then we're going to take, and we have the share now because these are two different colors. This one here is called Bluetiful, and that one there is Indigo. So we're going to start with the Bluetiful, and we're going to kind of do the same thing with the circle. So Danny's going to do that, and then I'm going to take the Indigo, which has a bit of a purplish tint to it. And it's going to go right on the outside, which is going to give that illusion of nighttime. It's going to be really nice. Go ahead and you do that, and I'm going to show them how to do the next part with the paper towel. So we're going to take a piece of paper towel. Now I have the sheets that cut off in half. If you don't at home, that's okay. You can certainly make it work anyway. Maybe you have a napkin you want to use. But I'm just going to take it and I'm going to fold it over itself like this, all the way to the end. Doesn't have to be straight or all that pretty. Here's yours.
And if this is hard for you, just ask an adult to help you.
Yeah, an adult will certainly be glad to help. So we're going to roll this up, and then we're going to take it and fold it in half, just like that. And when we fold it in half and open it back up, we have a little crease that we can, almost like we're making a paper airplane. Fold, and then fold. So this part is a bit tricky. So once you've made that fold, we're going to make this fold right here. And then we're going to fold it in to itself. And some of you may be familiar with what we're about to do next. It's almost like we're going to start doing a flag fold. So when we have this folded like this, we're going to take this straight piece and we're just going to go and make this fold right here, just like this. That's right. And then fold it across, and then fold it down again, and then to the other side. And what that's going to do is going to give us a nice little hard piece of paper towel that we can use for all of our combining of blending of the work. And so now we can start blending, and we're going to start right down by the moon. We're just going to mix the colors together a little bit, and you'll notice they start to take away the groove of the crayon, and you start to see a solid color on your canvas that you're working with, on your piece of paper.
Ow.
Now this can be pretty tricky. I do recommend you have an adult help you with this at times. Let's see here.
Dad, can you help?
Certainly. Sometimes you're going to get a lot of wax buildup, and when you do that, you can maybe even switch to another part of your paper towel or napkin that you're using, tissue. But what we want to do is we want to actually blend these colors in.
I'm trying.
The light blue into the white before we move on to the next color. So right now we're still on the light blue, the first ring. And if you want to get really close to that moon here, because what's going to happen is a lot of that crayon or pastels are going to really clump up with that tape. So you want to make sure you get around that and really get it out of there. Gets tricky, doesn't it? From there, you're going to want to move on the next layer and drag it in. Drag it back and forth. Mix it with
Can you help?
the lighter blue. I absolutely can. Let's see. So we have some wax buildup here. So we're just going to push real good and hard. And again, you might need a mommy or daddy to help you, or an adult in your home.
Like if you're a kid, your hands won't be as strong as the grown-ups.
Yeah. So as you can see, Danny just asked for help. I'm going to do everything I can to help. There we go. That's your light blue mixed. Now we're going to take the next layer, and as we wipe the next layer, we're going to bring it down a little bit into that first layer of light blue. And it creates a nice healthy blend of the colors.
Like this?
And sometimes you want to move it around because I'm building up a lot of wax here, as you can see on this camera. I'm building up a bit of wax. And so what I want to do is change the side, and I'll maybe use another clean white tip. And then I'll continue my blending. And I really want to make sure I get rid of all the wax blotches as I'm going around in the circle. Oh, you're doing so good. So once we've done that, we're just going to keep doing the same thing.
Over and over on the other place.
Yeah, all the way out to the very edge, the purple. So we're going to go to the next color, blend it down into the color before it.
Can you get the top? Can you help?
I sure can. Okay, so take this and drag it down there.
It tastes like this violet that looks really nice.
And I find, it's a great kit, that Art 101. The pastels in it aren't that good. I mean, they're not your high quality pastels. Even the crayons, they're not Crayola. When doing this here, if you want an easier one to do, easier utensils to work with, Crayola is the easier crayon. And I know that there are lots of different brands out there for your...
And if you're a beginner, this is a beginner set.
It certainly is. It's for beginners. It's for people first starting off, and it's what we're using mostly. A little bit of Crayola crayon as well. Okay, then we're going to come right out to the very end, and we're going to get right to the edges of this one here, and we're going to make sure that we do the same thing on the edge that we did with the tape in the middle, and we're going to make sure that we get rid of all the wax that's in the edge of this picture.
This is much more easier. On the edge. Okay?
Yeah. Once we have I'll help you there. Once we have our blending all done, we then move on to the difficult part. Oh, the really difficult part. Because I'm not a great drawer. So drawing is never all that easy for me. Let's move all of this over here.
And we need this for the last step.
Yep, so we'll keep that aside. We're going to take our pencils now. And the first thing we're going to draw is...
The 4B pencils.
Yeah, our 4B pencils. The first thing we're going to draw is where we're going to put our grass. Now, depending on how high up your moon is, if you want the moon to take a little bit of the grass, you want to take the tape off first. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to take my tape off. And you're going to notice when you take your moon off is you're going to have that little bit of an edge. You can actually use your fingers then to just go around and smoothen out that edge. There we go. We have our moon here. And we can always go over it with this here if we wanted to and really highlight it. But we're not going to do that with this picture because we're not going to take a whole lot of time at this. We're going to make this rather quickly. Now, we learned a lesson before, didn't we? What happens when we deal with a pencil?
It could get on like hands, so that's why we have paper towel here to put over the 4B pencil.
Yeah, so we can put it over our white piece of paper first to make sure that we don't get any pencil on this white piece of paper. And then we're going to draw our picture. And every time we have to move, we're going to move our paper towel with us. And that's going to allow us to keep our drawing safe and protected. So, you're making little hills. Nice. I like that.
I'm going to add some grass.
So we're going straight across. And how you do the grass is completely up to you. I like to make little tiny spots here and there of grass, different lengths.
And if you like, you could add some flowers.
Yeah, so I'm going to make a little flower. That's a good point. I'm going to make a little flower right here. Little leaf.
I'm not a professional, and he's not a professional. So we're doing like a kind of a nice drawing and see if it goes out like.
Okay, so now we've got our grass and our picture, our flowers done in. We're going to shade the entire bottom half now. Okay, so we have this done. Now we're going to make our tree. Now, the tree can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. What does matter is that we have a branch that kind of comes out into the moon, flat for at least a brief moment, because that's where we're going to put our cat. Okay, so I'm going to start my tree here, right over this grass I made, actually. You got yours shaded in already. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was our next step. So the next thing we're going to do with our tree is we're going to shade our tree in. And now I'm finishing off my tree.
I drawed a little rainbow right here.
While you were waiting, you were so far ahead of me. So now I have my tree shaded in. Now we draw our cat.
And all you had to do is draw like a little 8.
Like a figure 8. So if we draw a figure 8, yeah. So let's make a figure 8. Maybe with a little bit of a top and a bigger bottom. Just like that. And then we'll make we'll shade it in. What else does a cat have?
A tail.
Tail. So we're going to make a tail. It's going to hang down under the cat. And I'm going to make mine a little bit curly. Almost like a candy cane curl. And what else?
And ears.
Has ears. So ear pointed there, pointed ear there, and there's my cat. Now, we could go a little bit further and even make little whiskers. What do you think? Little whiskers? So make little whiskers on our cat, nothing too big, just so the people, when they look at the picture, they know they're looking at a cat.
Mine kind of looks like a cat, probably.
Okay.
And
so
now
we're going to
take a whiteout pen.
Yes, a whiteout. I looked everywhere for a whiteout pen, and I managed to find one. Actually, your mommy managed to find one while we were out to Staples, and so we found them at Staples. So if you're looking through town, if mom or dad are trying to find a whiteout pen for you, we had to go to Staples here in town to find our whiteout pen.
And you could, when you first get them, you shake them.
You always shake before you use it, right? So now with our whiteout pen, we're going to shake it, and we're going to use it to make stars. We're just going to dab. You don't have to press, just a little dab here. Now we actually have this little layout here of stars.
And it might take a while to dry.
It might. It doesn't take too long, I don't think. This stuff dries pretty quickly. So now we're pretty well done all the artwork, aren't we?
Yep. And now all you have to do is take the tape off.
Yeah. And so this is our artwork. This is what we had done. And we are now going to take this bottom part and write a little message to a senior. So this is our card that we made, and we're going to send them out to the seniors in the seniors complex. So for those of you who came along with us today and made these, I will leave the address here below on the screen where you can drop these off, as well as a link to the Western Star article if you want to read it yourself. Anything you want to say to anybody?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this project and you want to do more with us, please like and subscribe. If you have any ideas, what can they do if they have any ideas for what we can do in the future?
You could comment down below.
Comment down below if you have any suggestions or ideas of projects that we can do later. So the show was created so that we can help little boys and girls who are stuck home and bored find something they can do, and maybe not just do at home, but do something that they can help with the community, just like we did here. So these are being sent out this week. We're going to drop them off, and maybe it'll brighten someone's day.
I hope someone gets really happy.
Yeah,
if they're like upset, I hope these help.
I completely agree. So that's what we'll do. We'll leave the address there for you as well to do that. So thanks again, and maybe they'll join us for the next one. What do you think? Yeah, hopefully you join us for our next show. Thanks, and bye for now.
Bye.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Sometimes it's hard to say goodbye to an old friend. But when you're saying farewell to your vehicle, Kidney Car makes it fast and easy. Just call or visit our website. We'll take any vehicle in any condition and give you a tax receipt for a minimum of $300. No headaches and no towing charges. It's the one-stop solution for getting rid of your unwanted vehicle in just a few short minutes. When your vehicles reach the end of the road, call us toll-free or visit kidneycar.ca.
For my kind, there was one place we were never allowed to go. Your world.
What are you gonna do?
Show this world for what it really is.
watching Rogers TV, Corner Brook.
Welcome to another edition of our show, West Talk. Great to have you along with us. We've got a lot of things coming up on the show this week. One thing I want to mention before we get going, towards the end of the program, we're going to tell you about a big event that's coming up this summer. And I want to add a little something to that, because since we go everywhere that anybody has a computer and watches the show all over the country, maybe it's a chance for a lot of people to make plans to come home later on in July, because when you hear about the big event, you're going to know why I said what I said. Now, also coming up on the show, we're going to talk to Penny Pike of the Corner Brook Winter Carnival Committee, and we're going to talk about the ambassadors for the Winter Carnival. We did an interview down at Margaret Water Park. I'll talk a little more about that later. But let's begin the show with Sharon Mcclement. Great to have you here.
It's wonderful to be here.
Haven't seen you in a while.
No.
We go back a long ways.
We do, yes we do.
You are the Director of Workforce Innovation. And I guess the thing I've got to ask you is, what is that?
So actually the full title of the center is the Newfoundland and Labrador Workforce Innovation Center. It's administered by College of the North Atlantic, and we were established by the provincial government in 2017. That was just before I was still in Qatar, so I came back after the first call for proposals. So what we are, we're a team of 5 that are really have a provincial mandate right across the province to bring together all of the labor market partners. Employers, job seekers, post-secondary institutions, employment service providers, recruitment agencies. Bring all those players together to say, what are the issues you're facing? What are the opportunities? What are some of the best practices? What don't we know that we should be doing some further research on? So we have a mandate to bring all those together, find out what those issues are. We either report it to government and say, there may be some need here for policy or program change, or why don't you do a call for proposals that would have these research themes to fill in the gaps. So that's a really big part of that. We convene all those partners. We do have research funding. So to date, we have funded 20 research projects that look at innovative models of how to get people to work and to stay working. Mm-hmm. But also making sure we have people with the right skills at the right time in the right place. So we look at that, and so we do that through bringing people together, through our research funding, and through sharing anything that we learn, what works and what doesn't. So that's what we're about, and we were created because there are some issues in labor market. We are an aging population. We are declining in terms of the numbers as well, and technology is changing. So we need to look at things differently. We can't do things the same way we used to do them. So we look at innovative approaches to attach people to the workforce, so we have a positive impact on employment and entrepreneurship.
Well, I had all this information for the past few days to have a look at, right? And when I looked at it, I was saying, there is no way we're going to get any of all of this stuff in here. So can we narrow it down just a little bit to, say, our local area for a bit, right?
Sure. Well, we've had a number of sessions where we did bring labor market partners together. So we did, and we documented, and we've talked to government about that. So that's happened in Corner Brook, it's happened in Stephenville, it's happened in Deer Lake, et cetera. The other thing, though, that's happened locally, I said we do research funding. So what we've done to date is we've funded 20, and a number of those are in the Western region. In Corner Brook, we have a couple. The YMCA are looking at youth at risk. They're looking at evaluating their Employment First programs to see have these been working really? Because we really need these youth we need to understand why they're at risk, why they aren't being employed, and how can we get them employed. It's a wonderful program. The Vine Place Community Center and the Corner Brook Status of Women are collaborating on another project to look at how can we create a viable social enterprise that employs people, that has a social good, but is sustainable. And we have another social enterprise project that's looking at in the southwest region of Stephenville and the Bay St. George area. So yeah, we have a couple of those. Grenfell is involved in another one. They have researchers that are involved in how do we get more people working in agriculture. They're crying out for people across the province. So we have a researcher at MUN who's contributing to a provincial project by the Association for New Canadians that are looking at refugees and attaching those to the workforce. So we're learning what works, what doesn't, so that at some point we'll say, okay, if we want to get more people employed, here's a good model. Now let's see if we can just share this around the province so we can get more people employed.
What were you're like the catalyst that brings
Yes.
all of this together.
Absolutely.
But you've got a couple of years or more under your belt now.
Yes.
So have you had anything that's gone to fruition yet, or anything finished up for you?
That's a really good point. Most of our projects actually are probably 30 to 36 months. But it's interesting you should ask, because we've got 20 projects, and one in Nain, which just finished December 31st. It was employment pathways for youth, Inuit youth, and really looking at the barriers and gaps, and more positively, what can we do to make sure that those young people, we know why they're not employed, or how do we get them employed so that they have the right skills and they can participate as much. So that finished in December. So all I can say is that that's finished. We're going to be looking at it now to say, okay, how can we share this and scale it up? We've had early wins on other ones. We've been working with another St. John's group, and which has an Ottawa researcher, looking at a model of needs assessment and helping people who are unemployed, finding out how to get them to work. Because there's lots of barriers, so what are the right interventions? So they have a new tool. In fact, it's called Prime 2.0. It's been so successful, early win, it's not even finished yet, that it's been early adopted by a couple of organizations across the country. So we've had some early wins, and but there's still time. So in the meantime, we're bringing people together. We are making sure that we are here for other national organizations, to all working in the same goal of getting people with the right skills, the right time, and the right place.
Now, anybody listening now understands what I said with all of this. I'm trying to squeeze it all in. There's so much here.
Yes.
So, is there a center point? If somebody has an idea or something, do they come to you, or do they come as an organization to you? How does that work?
Well, we'd love to have people do that. We normally we plan consultations right across the province. Right now, actually that's a great segue, because we've got, in addition to our original core activities, we have a couple of new ones that we have from government as of November. And the first one will be the establishment of workforce development committees. We're still in early days of trying to design those, but that will be actually we're looking at regional committees that will bring, again, those same labor market partners together, but at a regional level, to say, okay, what are employers looking for? Do we have the employees here, particularly underrepresented groups? How do we apply all the programs and services to get them to work? It's all about getting people to work and stay to work, and making sure that all the partners are working together. Post-secondary institutions, are they teaching the right programs and courses, or how can we help inform that? So people can come to us. We don't have any specific calls for proposals right now for new research, but we will be looking at that down the road probably in a couple of months.
You mentioned there are 5 locations in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Well, potentially. No. We're looking at workforce innovation committees. We're looking now at a model of regional, but we've got to get that approved and everything. But we're in early days of that.
You're trying to spread out to that.
Oh, absolutely, because I think you're right, and we're very excited about that. And we'll also be doing another new initiative. Will be immigration is a really significant opportunity and need to help us with the whole kind of how do we get all the people working that we need to work to get this economy going. So in year 2, next year, we'll be looking at an ideas lab for immigration, economic immigration. So we're doing a couple of different things, looking at the impact of technology on businesses and skills. So there's lots to be doing. The main thing is we bring people together to hear what the issues and opportunities are. We share best practices. We make sure that we're creating this culture, I guess, of innovation and experimentation. So we get the job done if people are working and stay working.
Any place in here for the public? Does anybody from the public get to come and see what you're doing, or does it have to be a specific group?
That's a really good point, actually. The way we've engaged or tried to engage people to date are through our social media platforms. So we really want people to know about all these research projects and get excited about and ask us questions. So we're still working on how do we do that. We've increased our followership. I think we're close to 1,000 now, but in different platforms. But yeah, we're always trying to do that better.
So you're really out there.
Yes, we go to conferences, we present at conferences all the time, but you're right. The public, I guess the main way we do it is through this kind of initiative.
Yeah.
We really appreciate the opportunity through Rogers to do this, particularly on your 100th show, which is great. You can talk to that in a second. It's great.
Oh, you're just too good.
I'm too good. I'm delighted with that.
We're out of time. And
Okay.
in case anybody was
and you're not
wondering,
supposed to
you
throw
see,
that.
That is not my birthday, by the way. Happy 100th. We'll talk a little more about that later. Thanks for bringing up the cake, because the smell here is you can smell the cake.
It's wonderful. Congratulations to Rogers on that.
Our 100th show is what it's all about. Not my age, okay? Thank you, Sharon Mcclement, for coming along.
Yeah.
Great to see you again. And
it's wonderful to see you. Follow us, follow our projects,
Yeah.
engage. That's our campaign.
And maybe check back in a few months or so, and we'll talk again about how this is all going for you still in the future, right?
Absolutely. We hope to be around for a while and getting the positive results we need to in this province and for the province. Thank you.
Now let's take a break and go to our weatherman, Kyle Brookings, and we'll find out what the next 7 days has in store, according to Kyle. Kyle?
Thank you so much, Dave, and a very good evening, everyone. There is quite a bit of weather to discuss over the next couple of days. We have not one, but two weather systems on the way over the next little while. The first weather system, well, that one arrives overnight tonight and into your Wednesday. We do have an area of low pressure that by tomorrow morning will be centered just off the south coast of the island portion of the province, and it is going to bring some snow to much of Newfoundland. Out on the Avalon, there is a slight chance of seeing some freezing rain and some rain, but for us here on the west coast, it will be a snow event. Your forecast for the Bay of Islands for tomorrow, well, we are going to pick up some snow. We are going to see about 5 to as much as 10 centimeters of snow, and the winds will be quite gusty as well, gust to about 50 to 60. For us here in the city of Corner Brook, -4 will be the daytime high, -5 for Cox's Cove and for Lark Harbor, and we are looking at a high of -4 in Deer Lake and Pasadena as well. So your 5-day forecast, storm number 1, that one arrives tomorrow morning. It will continue throughout the day, as I said, about 5 to 10 centimeters, -4 as the daytime high. And then as we head into Thursday, well, we're going to see snow in the morning. It will taper off throughout the day, and then our secondary system arrives Thursday evening into your Friday. -4 will be the daytime high for Thursday. And then as our next weather system moves through, we really cool down. -13 for your Friday with some snow, some blowing snow as well. Saturday, we're going to see snow in the morning. It will taper to flurries throughout the day. And then we'll round out your 5-day with some more flurries and -5. So all things considered, it is going to be a very snowy week in the city of Corner Brook. Your almanac, the average high is -3.6 for Wednesday. The record high of 13 degrees was set back in 1981. The average low is -11.5, and the record low of -25.6 was set back in 1959. Your sunrise and sunset for tomorrow, the sunrise is at 7:36, and the sunset's at 5:36, which equates to exactly 10 hours of sunshine. That is, so that's your almanac, and moving along to the road report for tomorrow. It is going to be a pretty slick day on the roads. Most major driving routes, we are going to see snow-covered roads and some slippery sections as well. That is a look at your forecast for this week. Check out your local details at wxcenter.ca.
All right, girls.
Mom, you said it's played again.
Workplace injuries hurt the most at home.
Now, just before we leave the studio and go to Margaret Bowater Park for our interview with Penny Pike of the Corner Brook Winter Carnival Committee about the Ambassador Contest, I just want to mention, because we didn't mention it in the interview, but she wanted us to mention that the gala that they have on the Sunday, February 16th, which is where they crown the ambassadors for this upcoming Corner Brook Winter Carnival. It's open to the public. They'd like for everybody to come along, anyone who's interested. And it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's at Corner Brook Regional High School. So now, after hearing that, let's go talk to the kids and that at Margaret Bowater Park. Here we are on site at Margaret Bowater Park. Now, a lot of events for Corner Brook's Winter Carnival take place here, like the opening ceremonies and so on, after they come down from the City Hall area. So all kinds of things happening here. And I have with me Penny Pike, who is in charge of the ambassador portion of Winter Carnival. And I have Logan Dwyer, and I have Jenna Leet. Well, 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah,
two out of 3. 2 out of 3. So what we're going to do here, we want to drum up interest in getting more young people involved in becoming involved as carnival ambassadors. So Penny, tell me first of all, like how much is involved in this, and how much work do you have to do with it?
My goodness, there's a lot of work involved in the ambassador program, but they all start off in an application process. Level 1, 2, and 3 students put in an application from Corner Brook Regional High, and also they're welcome from Immaculate Heart of Mary School. This starts usually in December month. We have a cutoff date in January. At that point in time, we look over the applications and get ready for a full week of fun, where they are judged by a panel of judges. Doing various activities through that week. We are going to be bowling. We're going to be paint rocking with the seniors. Help me out here, guys. What else are we going to be doing?
Okay, well, I'll ask them. I'll ask you guys now, because you went through it. You're last year's ambassadors, right? So you went through the system last year, and well, I'll start with you. Tell me some of the things that you did and how much fun you had.
Okay, so a major thing that we do, we always give back kind of to our community. So last year we went curling, of course, with the Vine Place Community Center kids. Trust me, you do not have to be a good curler to do this. Lots of pictures of me on the ice. I was so much fun though. Maybe a few bruises, but that's okay. It's no big deal. So we always give back to our community for an event. We normally do a big snow sculpture in the where Western Star used to be, in that little square. We build a snow sculpture. We also do a scavenger hunt. That's always a lot of fun. What else do we do, Logan?
Well, I think it's fair to say that it is a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh.
So Logan, you're just biting at the bit there. So you had a lot of fun, but now you're too old. Now you're too old you're done, right?
Done and gone. I did it for 3 years. I feel like an old man now. But like the snow sculpture specifically, when she brought that up, I remember every single year, every single snow sculpture we did, stuck in my mind. Really, it's just a lot about being with community. Bingo. So many games of bingo.
Oh my God.
I don't even know anymore. It's burned in my brain.
G9.
G9. I called that at least 10 times. I loved every second of it. Honestly,
what would you say? Look, the whole idea. We want to try to get more young people. You've got a few applications in that now already, but it's never too late, right? It's always, you can always take more. So, what would you say to the young people that are looking, or their parents that are watching?
Please get involved. It's my favorite memory from high school. 3 years. All 3 years in a row, I looked forward to it. And in winters like these, we need something to get through them. And this was just the thing for me.
You made me think of something that time. I always used to tell my grandkids, best 3 years of my life, grade 4.
Grade 4, oh yeah, for sure.
Well, what would you say to the kids?
Honestly, just get involved. You don't know how many doors, first of all, that this opens for you. Even if you don't, win ambassador, just having that on, just say a resume, opens up so many doors for you, and it's crazy. I just had so many people come up to me after and were like, hey, you want a summer job? Hey, you should do this for me. And I'm like, yeah, sure. It was so crazy, just the amount of people who reached out after I, won, or just seeing that I had it on my resume. It was crazy, and it's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of food. If you are a food lover, you will want to do this. You will.
Yeah. Well, I always used to say how to gain weight in 10 days, right? Winter Carnival.
I've never eaten more. Also, you get a cool hat.
You get a cool jacket. You like the sash? Yeah, you want one? You have to join. You have to join.
Well, Penny, they can't sell it any better than that.
No, they did great. Big sponsor too is BMO. BMO is our Winter Carnival ambassador sponsor. So a big thank you for them. It's a great way to represent your city. You are representing your city as the youth ambassadors. So, I mean, what a great way to do it and have fun while doing it. And like they said, get lots of food.
And something that I got to say before we wind up here, 50 years. This is number 50. So, I mean, you know, and like you say, it's all about Corner Brook. It's all about having fun. And as you said, about how to beat this weather, right?
Oh, my God. I lived here 18 years. Those 3 years are the only times I didn't feel cold out of my mind.
Well, thanks to all three of you. And remember, it's all about Corner Brook Winter Carnival. Now let's go back to our studios where it's nice and warm. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, about especially for people that are living in other parts of the country who want to come home this summer for a big special event, we're going to find out what that is all about right now, because we have the Corner Brook City Councillor Tony Buckle, and he's going to tell us. Tony.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and for the one person that don't know me here, I'm Tony Buckle. And anyway, I'm chairperson for the City of Corner Brook Festival Committee this year, and I'm really excited to announce details of the upcoming summer festival scheduled for July 30th to August 2nd. Planning for the festival began back in November last year, and I would like to thank all the committee members for their hard work and great ideas in putting together a program which I'm sure we will offer residents and tourists another great reason to travel around our beautiful city region. Building up on the success of 2019 Come Home Year celebration, we have put together a program which features Corner Brook Day, Blame It on Broadway, and a West Street Festival with a slightly different theme with a spotlight on ATVs. The concept for an ATV festival with an ATV focus was derived from the recreational tourism opportunities generated from the ATV industry. The industry is a major economic generator to the tourism sector, and our region is blessed with a vast trail. Better turn it over. Jumping ahead. Networks that attract ATV enthusiasts worldwide. Festival 2020 will feature live music, entertainment, food vendors, ATV expos, and tours and family-focused attractions. The festival will kick off on Thursday, July 30th, with trade display, cafeteria at the City Hall, Civic Square. The day will end off with music at Margaret Bowater Park, featuring local bands. Friday, July 31st, will feature a backcountry tour and boil-up sponsored by Rugged Edge and Saltbox. The boil-up will feature mussels, corn, sausages, toutons, and Newfoundland baked goods, some Pepsi products, and coffee and tea. That evening, we will be bringing back the hugely popular Blame It on Broadway. But we're changing the name a little bit this year, Blame It on Broadway again. Event featuring local artists. On Saturday, August 1st, we will once again be offering ATV tours to 3 destinations. The first one will be across the bay at Old Man's Pond. City tour, including Berta's Point and Captain Cook's Lookout. And the next one will be down the bay to Saltbox in beautiful Benwas Cove. We will also be hosting our annual Corner Brook Day celebration at Majestic Lawn, and there will be a West Street Expo and Trade Show on West Street, which will include vendors and entertainment along with ATV displays. The festival will conclude on Sunday, August 2nd, with an ATV parade. Passes for the backcountry tour will be available for purchase through Evanry box office. The package will include full day backcountry tour and boil up on Friday, July 31st from 9 to 3 p.m. swag bag, free parking, a mission to blame it on Broadway again show. Ladies and gentlemen, our committee is super excited to host Summer Festival 2020. The momentum and enthusiasm from the festival has been very well received, and we are very pleased to have the support of our corporate sponsors, which would be to my right here, Rugged Edge, Mr. Craig Borden, and Melissa's here. There's Saltbox, Mr. Rob Thomas, right here. Ever Outdoor Adventures, and Steady Entertainment, Dustin Parsons. Following this press conference, our Facebook and website will be launched. I suppose we can get up here and release the name of it this year. Jigs and Wheels Festival.com. Tickets for the backcountry tour and boil up will be available on our Evan Wright box office, available through our website. And I'd like to thank the mayor for unveiling their logo for this year. So anyway, this concludes today's press conference, and I hope everyone comes out to Jigs and Wheels Festival. Please help to promote this event and encourage your friends and family to visit Corner Brook and the region throughout the summer, and in particular from July 30th to August 2nd, and it will be a great time for everyone. Thank you very much.
Hey! What?
The lift wasn't working and he was in pain, so I tried to lift him on my own. Yes, it's bad. I'll need help.
Can I help you with that?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Workplace injuries hurt the most at home.
Well, as I mentioned, we had a full show for this week on West Talk. Great to have you along with us. And as we say goodbye and get ready for another 7 days programming coming up, we're going to have a little special event here because we have our happy 100th, which is not my birthday again. And I think one of the people from inside, Guion, is coming out with a knife, and we're going to cut this cake as we roll the credits.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
What do you say we talk about some of the great Canadian game shows? Canada seems to have the largest singular swath of talent.
I think the popularity of game shows is just as strong today as ever.
Canadians do fun really well.
They entertain an awful lot of people.